Richard Frost, and I'm going to perform a short set on these instruments here. I have with me a 12-string guitar, a Autoharp, I have a Resonator turned into a lap steel guitar, I have a Weisenborn style lap steel guitar, and behind me, this is a Rudra Veena. I may not get the chance to play the Rudra Veena today, but we shall see. I'm going to start with the 12-string here. The 12-string is probably my favorite instrument. I absolutely love this guitar. It has such a sweet sound. American primitive guitar style, I think I'd like to give a short explanation of what that is. It was developed by the guitarist John Fahey in the 50s with his album Blind Joe Death. And the guitar style is known for its very fluid form of being played. It takes influence from American blues, old-time country and folk music, along with Eastern influences such as Indian rags or Arabic music, Japanese koto, classical music, opera. It takes inspiration from everything and creates something new. Some of the artists to look for in that genre would be Leo Kodke, Robbie Basho, one particularly, Peter Walker, just to name a few, and maybe a few more will be brought up. But to start, I'm going to play a song on the 12-string in open C minor. I am going to call this song Tarantula Legs. I change the titles of my songs now and again. So, without further ado, this is Tarantula Legs. Hope you enjoy it. was Tarantula Legs, played in open C minor on the 12 string. The next instrument I'm going to play will be the Weisenborn style guitar right here. You may have noticed from that last song that improvisation is an essential part of an American primitive song, at least in my style of playing, not in everyone's. Many artists are very well rehearsed, Peter Lang being a very well rehearsed artist, Leo Kodke also, but most feeling fluid enough to allow for improvisation if necessary, being a part of the Indian classical inspiration from this music. Now, moving along to the Weisenborn guitar, or this style of guitar was designed by the German instrument maker Hermann Weisenborn upon his immigration to Hawaii. This instrument has raised strings from this nut right here. It has a square neck, hollow, so that it resonates very well. And it must be played with a steel bar like this. The steel bar creates a very pleasant sound that is associated very much so with Hawaiian music. However, on this first song, I will not be playing a Hawaiian song. I will be playing a song that I composed. I call it Drowning on the Nile. It's a song I've been playing for a while, and I greatly enjoy it because I feel it tells a story without any lyrics. This instrument is tuned into open G, and let's see how it goes. Drowning on the Nile. And that song was Drowning on the Nile, which is a little bit of a somber song, I think. It has a little bit of a rough part in the middle, but it all calms down in the end. The next instrument I think I'm going to try and play will be the Autoharp here. This is a folk instrument. It has 36 strings, as you can see here. They're all tuned chromatically. And what you do is you press these chord bars down and it will hold individual strings and create a chord. Without the chord bar, it sounds like that, which isn't quite as pleasant as if one is held down, and it creates a much more harp-like effect. Now this is how it is typically played. The Autoharp is associated quite a bit with Mother Maybelle Carter. Mike Seeger, Pete Seeger played one as well. Doc Watson, once in a while, would play the Autoharp. For continued research into it, feel free to look them up. Now, I'm going to play a traditional song on the Autoharp. This may not usually be classified in the American primitive genre. However, I feel it's a loose genre, loose term, and I can play what I like. So I love this song. This is called House of the Rising Sun. It's a traditional song. It's very well known. I think, as a matter of fact, I might actually put these finger picks on. I usually play with finger picks, but I've, for some reason, avoided playing them on these last few songs. So we'll see how this sounds. That's not right. Alrighty, and well, that's finishing ringing out. That was House of the Rising Sun, made famous by artists such as Leadbelly and rock and roll groups like The Animals. Next, I'm going to play a song on the Resonator guitar here. This instrument is called a Resonator guitar. It was invented in the 1920s, around the same time the Weisenborn was designed. This guitar relies on a cone and biscuit bridge right here that allows for amplification. All three of these instruments actually were made at a time when electricity was not available or widely available to amplify instruments, so they had to rely on natural sources and designs. Human ingenuity will always prevail. So myself, I actually have a raised nut on this guitar right here, turning this into a lap steel. You'll notice that this is a Spanish style, generally played in this fashion. However, I do enjoy lap steel style. The lap steel is very popular, not just amongst Hawaiian music lovers and musicians. It is also heavily associated with blues and bluegrass. This instrument is very well known in the bluegrass community, and it has a lot of range to it. However, let's see what I can do with it. I'm going to play a song I don't always have a title for. Lately I've been calling it Man in an Empty House. This is in open G minor. And let's see how this one plays. Man in an Empty House on the Resonator guitar in G minor tuning. Now, I'm going to refer back to the 12 string here, and I'm going to play a song that is inspired by a fugue and is in a different tuning, so I'll have to retune my guitar from C minor to C major. And this song is inspired by, first, John Fahey's Sunflower River Blues, a song that I absolutely love and am always continuing to try to learn to play. It is also influenced by Leo Kottke's Vaseline Machine Gun and a little bit of Udsen Lung is in there too. I call these songs, I change the name as always. Sometimes I call it the Self-Immolation Blues, and sometimes I call it Vaseline Machine Ripoff. But either way, whatever it's called, here's the next song. Thank you. Alrighty. So that was Vaseline Machine Ripoff, or the Self-Immolation Blues, played in open C major on the 12 string. My name is Richard Frost. This has been my set. I want to thank everyone for watching, and I hope everyone has a wonderful evening.